When you were talking about rentals, it's important to keep in mind that rentals are not taxed, if you will, by the government like a property transaction would be. And as a result of that, there's not a public record to be able to verify that whatever the price is that's reported is actually accurate. So as a result of that, and as a result of the rentals that are available, some of them are rented by the day or night, some are rented by the week, some are rented by the month, some are rented by the year. So as a result, what we do is instead of trying to parse out what's what, we're simply going to take the median number. It's the number in the middle, and it's as good as any. And why is that? Because rental data is sketchy. It's very sketchy. And why is it very sketchy? Because the only information that a lot of people can get their hands on relatively quickly is that information that's in the multiple listing service. But in order to go on the multiple listing service, a realtor has to be used and a commission has to be offered. A landlord that has 300 units or 400 units or 200 units, they're not going to want to pay a real estate commission. In South Florida, it's 10% of the gross annual rent, which will be split between the broker on the landlord side and the broker on the tenant side. Consequently, many corporate-owned rental properties will never make its way to the MLS. And therefore, the data we're referring to is only that which a commission is offered. So it's really just a small portion of the overall rental market. And therefore, it's not necessarily information you can make. You'll hear all these rental reports talking about what's going on in the marketplace. I will tell you, generally speaking, it's not that accurate. It's the equivalent of licking your finger, holding it up and trying to guess which way the wind blows. It's still kind of a good idea to have an idea of what the rental market is generally. Now, some of you might own your property and you're living there. Some of you might be buying a second home and you don't plan to rent it, but things change. Life changes, marriage changes, job changes, health changes. And it's always good to know in the back of your head, what can the place rent for? And I think it's a piece of information that people looking to own as well as people who own should be equipped for. And that's why we're going to get the rental market. By the way, if you want to know if a property is corporate owned or whether or not it's individually owned, besides the listing aspect, simply look at the outside. If you see a big sign that says for rent with a telephone number, if you see a guy flipping a sign, trying to get you to stop, pull in, those are corporate owned. When there is a realtor involved, that typically is individually owned. And there's also the possibility where somebody might be renting it on their own for rent by owner, if you will.